My Friend Peppa Pig. The review, as you've probably read on the title. So first off, it's available on different platforms. I played the Xbox Game Pass version. Um, so that would be, I think, Xbox One. I technically played it on my computer, so I don't know what difference that makes. All right. The genres between the different platforms seems confused. I've read adventure, family, and children's. I'm going to go with it's a children's game because that seems to be more accurate. So it's a video game based on the animated television show Peppa Pig. Um, it consists of several short skits or events each episode. Peppa's the main character. And as the intro to each episode shares, um, uh, she has her mom, her dad, her younger brother George. The episodes include visiting places such as her grandparents or actual places, the park, the school. Peppa has friends too that she plays with on the show. Susie Sheep, Rebecca Rabbit. This game starts with you making a character for yourself to be friends with and play with Peppa. Hence the My Friend Peppa Pig. Um, so after you use the rather limited character creator, but it's based solely on the show, so you got the animals that are on the show to choose from and little outfits to choose from, and then you name yourself and move on. So gameplay consists of moving left or right, and then pressing one of two buttons to interact with Peppa and her world. Everything you do and visit are references to the various Peppa Pig shows, either directly or indirectly, with just having like something similar from one of the episodes. Um, Anyways, almost everything you can do in the game is tied to an achievement, which is one way to track what you have left to do in the game. Fortunately, Peppa seems to have a very short term memory. So, if you quit the game and go back to it, Peppa will insist on doing anything you already did over again, with very few exceptions, such as herding chickens, because you can't do it again once it's done. But she will keep thinking she needs to visit the grandparents' house because of that. The best thing to do to prevent this problem is to either finish the game in one sitting. It is extremely short. It runs around, I'd say, 3 hours maximum if you don't know what you're doing and do not go about it in a streamlined fashion, like go all the way left and then all the way right, or all the way right and then all the way left. Oh, excuse me. Because there is no fast travel in this game. There is no way to select areas and just move to them. You have to physically travel. My nose is itching me. All right, you have to physically travel your character and Peppa to and from. If you are playing, I believe it's still available on Game Pass, but even if you have the disc for some reason, you should be able to play it on Xbox Series X, and I believe the quick resume option will still work on it. I've not had any games not work with quick resume on the Series X yet. And from what I understand, Series S is the same thing, but digital, there's no discs, so it'd have to be a download. So, you get what I'm saying. Um, Finishing the game is the same as completing it, as everything must be done to unlock the ending area. It's an area, let's put it that way. Once you do everything, you have to return to Peppa's house. And once you enter the house, a cutscene will take place, and they will automatically take you to the end location. The only thing I found tricky to figure out to do in the game is you have to waste a certain amount of time walking around and interacting with the characters and the environment in Peppa's house to trigger two different events that are in the achievements list, and they are necessary to unlock the final area. One of them involves the little brother George, and the other involves the daddy pig. So opinion time instead of umming over and over again. My bad. Reviews online seem to be very highly positive for this game. I don't feel the same way. Now, I understand this game is meant for the audience that the show's meant for. These are little kids, like 2 or 3 probably, would be my idea. Here's the thing. I can sit down and watch an episode of the show and find enjoyment out of it. As silly as that show is, there are things that I can chuckle about, and I'm not laughing at the show the way the child is going to, but I'm enjoying the show in my own way. And I can sit there and watch it for anywhere from a half hour to an hour. An episode's generally about a half hour if you got commercials and you're watching it on Nick Jr. This game, however, one of the problems is the speed that the characters walk at. The only way to get from one point to another is generally them walking. There is riding in the car, there is riding on the bicycles, but riding in the car could sometimes lead to encountering a cutscene of road construction that leaves you sitting there and waiting, because there is no way to skip any scenes in this game, even if you have seen them before. I came across the road construction scene 3 times in my playthrough. 3. And this is the playthrough whenever I had to start over because I realized that Peppa has a short-term memory. I hadn't came across it, surprisingly, the first time around. That aside, this game is less a game and more like those DVD games where you kind of watch it. You don't really do anything besides maybe select something occasionally and go, oh, okay. That was interesting. Which makes me wonder why not just watch the episodes instead. I mean, I get it's interacting with the episodes, but there's such minimum interaction. You literally just press a button occasionally. And there's stuff that you think you can interact with that you cannot. For example, if you wait in Peppa's room long enough, George will come up and they'll play tag. And you have a button to tag them, but you cannot tag them at all. I tried. I even tried on the console to see if it was a PC issue. The game will not let you actually tag them. It actually has George out of reach the whole time. And Peppa, despite being right next to her and pressing it, you can't tag her. Your hand just goes in front of her. Every time. It does nothing. So I ended up just leaving the room and moving on. Because I had better things to do with myself. Luckily, that playing tag thing is not tied to an achievement and does not seem to be tied to unlocking the game ending. Because if it was, I would have never figured it out. Because I still don't know what that was about. And here's my final point about this. I was a child that played games once. Now, I'll mind you, the first game that I was playing, Streets of Rage 2, is definitely not child appropriate. But the children's game I played, there was 2 of them on the Sega Genesis I played. I played Fun and Games, which is a lot like Mario Paint, in which you're just creative and kind of do whatever you want on the game, which is great for children. Just let them create stuff and do what they want. And there's like a little side mini game that is not too complicated, just involves pressing a button and trying. And if you fail, oh well, you move on. It's kind of similar to the Bee Swarm one on Mario Paint, honestly. I'm not. I feel like it's probably super similar. I don't remember what the game is, but I remember it being really easy. The other game I played was a Barbie game. It was Barbie Supermodel. And if you're not familiar with the game, you move automatically. It's a side scroll option, automatic. But you can go up and down, and you can move faster or slower through the level. I need to sneeze. Oh, goodness. In order to collect stuff on the path. And there's obstacles and stuff. But outside of occasionally hitting too many obstacles and it throwing you to the would you like to continue, and there does not seem to be a limit to how many times you can do this, by the way. Continuing. You can also enter some of the shops on the road. I need to sneeze again. And each of the shops, while the mini games are very simple, they're like matching games or memorizations. The point is, they were mini games that were something you could do versus the Peppa Pig game where there's not really anything to do. There are no mini games, and for the most part, everything you press a button like 1, 2, maybe 3 at most times, and that's it. At least in that, you were given an image and you memorized it. And if you didn't memorize it good, the game never penalized you. I realized something. You always reach the end of the game, and then it just kind of goes back to the title screen. But that's perfect for children because they don't care if they won or not necessarily. Or they like the idea of thinking they won even if they did a very bad job. Even if it's mainly just memorization and like, oh, okay, let's match the. All right, the cover had Barbie have green earrings, so let's find the green earrings and I select it, and they'll say good job and move on. Or like dance practice, they show you which arrow to press first, what button to press, which there's only 2 buttons, A or B, even though there are 3 buttons on the Genesis controller. There is a C. It didn't matter. The point was it was still fun for a child because they're still getting to do something. While on the Peppa show, you're not really doing anything. It doesn't have that application to feel like you accomplished something. You're not figuring out that this isn't the color that she was wearing. She was wearing that color and going, oh, well, that was close. Because they always show you at the end on the Barbie game. And you look between the two and you're like, oops. There's no reward for doing the Barbie game correctly anyways. But it's something that you can aim for as a child. And this game doesn't have that. And that's my main problem with it. There's nothing really to do that is doable, I guess. You're just mainly just kind of going to the next spot and pressing the button so you can watch the next cutscene. Which, I don't see the point. Maybe some kids enjoy that. I don't know. I feel like it's something once you've done it once, you're just kind of like, I'd rather just watch the show. Especially if you've already seen the episode that's being referenced, you're like, what am I doing? I've already seen this. Why am I doing this? I could be doing something better. I just feel like without mini games to do, it's not as entertaining. If they had put at least 1 or 2 mini games in there, I would at least make some sense. Even the reward is kind of just cutscenes and going, wait, this is the reward? I feel gypped. So that's how I feel, though. I'm sure other people have different opinions. Obviously, online, the critics thought it was good. I have no idea why, but everybody has their own take on it. This is my take on it. I do not see the point in playing that game. You are better off just watching the show. If you want a game for your kid to play, Super Mario Maker. I guess technically Super Mario Maker 2 is what came out on the Switch. It's an open creative game that you can't lose. And you can just do whatever you want on it, and they're going to have a whole lot more fun. Games like that are more likely to entertain a child. At least it would have been more entertaining to me. I feel like I would have been disappointed with the Peppa Pig game as a kid. I might have played it. I might have finished it. I don't know that I would have replayed it, is what I'm saying. So, take that as you will. Maybe if you have Game Pass, it's worth playing through once while it's still on there. Or maybe you'll take my advice and steer clear of it and just watch an episode of the show if you like Peppa Pig. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to watch the show. Thank you for watching. Links, as always, are in the description and the About page. And, remember, like, subscribe, comment, tell other people, share it. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, bye!